Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to some League of Legends patch notes. So, I pulled another all-nighter, and I was wondering, hey, it's the morning now, what should I do? And then I remembered, today's the day. Today's the day of the patch 7.14 notes. It's here, boys. Anyway, let's get into it. Salutations, summoners! Welcome to patch 7.14. I'm also doing this one solo because everyone is sleeping. Anyway, salutations. This patch drops a lot of names we haven't heard in a while, from Singe to Garen to Diana. Wow, we haven't heard those names. Well, at this point, we're rattling off the table contents random order. Many of these champions have been sitting in obscurity, and we're happy to dust them off. The Thornmail update gives tanky champs access to grievous wounds with Bramble Vest as a stat. Wait, whoa, that does not sound okay. As an AD player, I do not like what I just heard. Anyway, let's keep going. Hex Drinker, QSS, and other. I build into a bigger version of myself items. We've also taken lethality items into the shop to ensure they're offering assassins meaningful, satisfying choices. I'll get to lethality in a bit, because I have some strong opinions on that I want to kind of share, but in due time. Anyway, and finally, we'd be remiss not to mention the shadow lurking on the horizon. Keep an eye out for Kayn. Not that it'll matter once he steps out from the wall behind you. Nothing personal, kid. Alright. Okay. I heard they're, cracking down on, a lot of different MOBAs that are, copying them, like the phone game ones. I heard they're really not having it now. Anyway, Kayn, the Shadow Reaper, will be unleashed in the Rift later in the patch, so I'm guessing a week, probably less, but definitely within the week. Okay, pretty cool. Kayn's cool. I think he's actually really fun. I haven't played him, but he looks cool. Naruto. Alistar, the cowman himself. Damage reduction on R increased. He's more tanky. I mean, in a team fight, why would you be focusing Alistar anyway? But cool. Visible only to Alistar and his attacker. Oh, wow. Okay, Caitlyn. Attack speed per level down. So literally just a straight nerf to Caitlyn. Our goals today are the same as patch 7.11. We're continuing to trim strengths aside from Caitlyn's primary contributions. Our previous change. So they basically want her to use her headshots to, actually do shit. She's basically right now a jack of all trades. If you don't use the traps, the traps are mainly to zone, but you don't need to use them to be a good Caitlyn. Yeah, if you're a good Caitlyn, you will use them, but they're not the defining characteristic, because Caitlyn is just good without them. So I'm actually glad they're taking a little bit of her base things off and making her rely more on the traps and her headshots. So that's good. Because Caitlyn is oppressive as fuck in the bot lane already. Anyway, good nerf. Kogoth. E now only applies to the next 3 attacks. Oh, I read about this one in the PBE. But does significantly more damage. Q mana cost down, W silence duration up at earlier ranks. In theory, Vorpal Spikes is a lot of consistent power for a melee. Cho'Gath's slow mobility makes it struggle to land more than a few attacks on any moving target. He only now needs to land a few attacks. Okay, so what are they doing? There's a cooldown on it now. There's a mana cost as well. The base damage is 20, 35, 50, 65, 80 plus 0.3. So the base damage is unchanged, but they added a max health, and it stacks with Feast scaling, a decaying slow. It grants extra attack range, and it resets his basic attack timer. Holy shit. This is pretty good. I don't know if you would max it, because I remember some people would max the on Cho'Gath, but I'm really glad they're giving Cho'Gath some love. Now, I'm basically taking this at this point straight from Skara. Skara is speaking through me at this moment. Cho'Gath is one of the worst champions because the only thing you get from leveling his abilities, I think, if I remember correctly, is cooldown and base damage. Maybe not even cooldown. I think base damage definitely increases, but besides that, cooldown on some of his abilities don't decrease. Yeah, look, on the Q. The cooldown doesn't decrease at all, I don't think. Unless that's the only thing they changed. Anyway, I'm really glad they updated the E. They made it a lot better, I think, because the old E was whatever. So, Good change. Good buff. I'm gonna call it a buff. Diana. Okay, Diana. Passive. I read about this on the PBE too. Specifically, Moobeat, who's having some financial trouble at the moment. But that's not for this video. Passive attack speed now procs off spellcast and increase with E rank. So they basically moved the passive to the E and made it like huge. Like it's a steroid. Passive attack now restores mana. Q cooldown reduced at early levels. I don't know why they did that actually. W mana cost reduced at early levels. Okay, fractured identities. In the middle of an assassin, a diver, a laner, and a jungler. We've seen what happens when an assassin gets to be too tanky, when a diver gets to blow people up. Diana's basically has too many worlds that she's in. In the meantime, okay, so what'd they do? Diana's spellcast grant 20% attack speed for her next 3 attacks, increasing with Moonfall's rank. So Moonfall is her E. Okay. Moonsilver's blade attacks restore mana equal to 15% of Diana's AP. That's pretty good. That's really good, actually. Okay, Q cooldown down by 2. That's pretty good. Wow. For the next 3 basics, and then it also increases with the E. Moonsilver's base attack speed to 50, 60. So wait, is that an active effect or a passive? I think that's an active, actually. But that's crazy. 90% attack speed. Whew. That's pretty good. Alright, Fiora. Passive movement speed down are no longer grants duelist dance movement speed when near the target. Okay, so I have mixed opinions on this one, because I saw this on, surprise, surprise, PBE. So, the movement speed down. I think if you want to nerf Fiora, that's a good place to hit her. The movement speed down is okay. Like, I know they don't want to shave too much power, like raw power, which means like AD or damage off of Fiora, because she's going to become an ass real fucking quick. And Fiora's very tricky to balance because she's a very high skill, high reward champ because she has a lot of outplay potential. So I think hitting her passive, it's not even that hard to hit too. It's 5 move speed early, then 10, then 15, then 20. So basically her late game is hit pretty hard, but that's with move speed. Like, you're already really mobile with your Q anyway, so the move speed, yeah, it's good, but that's if you proc the vital too, so I like it. Now, here's where I have the issue. Grand Challenger R. It no longer grants duelist dance move speed while near the target. That's I don't know. I think that's too much of a nerf to Fiora because your ult, you want to feel empowered doing your ult. Because your ult, yeah, it does a lot of damage to the enemy. It does true damage with all the vitals. But number 1, you have to hit all of them. If a person stands near a fucking wall, you're not going to hit anything. Like, that vital is basically gone unless you have some sort of magical CC ability to get them off the wall. Hint, hint, Urgot. But I doubt you're going to be with an Urgot, like, someone, like, who's hooking. Anyway, my phone's vibrating at me because it's angry. It's angry of this nerf. But, I don't know. It's like, why would you take the move speed away from the ult? You're nerfing the ult. You already nerfed her passive, which plays into the ult. I think that's too much. Like, Fiora already has a hard time getting to people with mobility if she can't land the Q. So, for instance, let's say this. Fiora's in a wave, not in a wave, in a lane with another enemy. Let's say it's Gnar, because Gnar got buffed recently, so he's being played, right? Fiora's with Gnar. Fiora is trying to fight Mini-Gnar. Mini-Gnar's like half health low, and Fiora knows she could burst him down. Not only, and let's say there's no minions in the wave was just cleared. Not only will she have to pray to God she hits her Q. Let's say she ults, right? She ults, okay, I have to go in, hopefully hit my Q against the Gnar. Hope I proc a vital, which, I mean, if I'm ulting, there's vitals all over the place. So proc a vital, but I have to get up to him, and that's the issue. I think that's a horrible nerf for Fiora. I don't know why I'm talking so long about this, but hey, I've been up all night. Give me some slack. Anyway, Garen, Demasia's favorite Wonder Boy, and a man that got me to gold once upon a season. Passive modernization and buff. W now grants damage reduction and tenacity briefly after activation. EAD ratio per spin up. Okay. Healthy amount of counterplay as his opponents learn to kite. This leaves Garen with not much skill expression of his own, making the skill in the skill matchup pretty one-sided. We're giving Courage a skill check to make Garen a little less straightforward, letting the beastliest Garens flex their muscles and show off. The fucking picture of Garen holding up the world like Atlas, except the world was his teammates. While we're on Garen, we took this opportunity to modernize his passive by shifting it from a 3-tier model to one that transforms once around the end of laning phase. Okay. All in one, we still think there's more that can be done to Garen, but these are what they're doing now. Okay. Out of combat, 2 to 4 to 10 goes to 2 to 8 per max at 5 set. That's not a buff. From levels 1 to 11, out of combat timer is 9 to 4. Regeneration increases to 4 to 16% per 5 seconds when Garen is below 25/50 max health. They're making him more niche. I actually don't like this change, because what would happen before was late game Garen regen more than Mundo's fucking ult. Like, he had a Mundo ult built in as a passive, which was ridiculous. I mean, they only shaved off 2%, but... Actually, no, it is. You know, I changed my mind. It's a buff, because you're going to regen a lot more if you're lower, and that's realistically when you want it. Because you don't care about regen when you're, like, above half, realistically. So this is actually better. Anyway, W Courage. Now displays how much damage Courage is mitigating. That's cool. I always like to see what my abilities do, so I actually really like that. Now grants Garen 6% damage reduction and tenacity for the first 75.75 seconds, returning to the normal 30 damage reduction after the remainder. That's really good, because originally what they had changed was it was going to give him like 60 damage reduction, but it was going to last a lot, like, not longer. Fuck, what's the word? A lot less. I'll just say that. It was going to last a lot less, so I'm glad they kept the timer the same. Like, the W, as you level up, it'll last longer, but always for the beginning, you're going to, like, be able to mitigate more, which is actually good, because let's say you're tower diving. You're going to be able to, like, tank the first tower shot and take a lot more reduced damage, so that's good. And the E is just a straight buff. Will this make Garen good again? I don't know. The W is really good, because people who go top are, like, CC animals, so I think it's a good step. It might make him good, but I don't play top lane enough to know, but I think it's pretty good. Good buff. Very good buff. Ivern, the fucking, what used to be the top tier jungler, and is still pretty good. W cast range decreased. Okay, so now I'm not an Ivern player, Hunter is, and he hasn't played Ivern in God knows how long. All he plays is Gragas now. But from what I remember when I played Ivern, the bush range is actually insane. So I guess they just want to curve more of his power, and I'm glad they're nerfing this if anything else, because I don't want them to nerf Ivern to make him useless, because he's only useful if his team is good. So this is a good nerf if this is the only thing they're doing. Rammus. Self-saw W decreased in intensity. 60 to 30. Yeah, Rammus, like, that was insane. They want to make him an on-hit attack speed champ while also being tanky and also being good against AD, because all he builds is armor. But then his W slowed him, so how is he going to get to... I don't know. It was weird. But whatever. Good buff. It's a straight buff. I can't really say anything about it. And it's a bug fix. Okay, Singed. I read about this, and I don't know how I feel about this one. So let's see what Riot has in store for Proxy Lord over here. New passive grants move speed when passing by other champions. Base and scaling health increased. Q damage down, AP scaling up, and W grounds enemies within it. Interesting. So, I don't know what... Oh, wait, no. Grounding is what Cassiopeia does, actually. Okay. So, let's see what it is. Let's see the hard stats. So, he has a lot more base health and health growth, and that is because of his new passive, Noxious Slipstream. Now, wait, let me just make sure, because I haven't done this yet. Alright, good. Everything on the stream is okay. Ignore those other tabs here. Those are for later. Anyway, Noxious Slipstream. So, when Singed passes within 225 range of a champion, that's actually really low. He drifts off them, gaining 20% bonus move speed for 2 seconds. This effect has a champion unique 10-second cooldown. Okay, so basically, think of Yasuo E, like it's a little timer around them. That's how often it could be. It's like Yasuo E. You can't like go near the same person and get move speed like that. And here's why they changed the base stats of his health. Singe no longer gains health based on his maximum mana. So he's actually losing a lot of health, which they're hoping to give back to him with the base health and the increased health growth. Because that may not look like a lot, but late game, that's a lot. Like, that is a lot. Not as much as he might have gotten from his passive with certain builds, but they're returning some like health to him that he's losing from his passive. Okay, so Q. They're taking all the weird-ass odd numbers out, like 44, 60... Not odd, god damn it. Even numbers out. Like 44, 68, 92. Like, what the fuck? Why? Why? And then 0.8, he's better late game. Cool. Particle size increased to more clearly represent the poison's area of effect. Thank the Lord. Because you would not know, like, where you could walk until it was, like, clearly gone. Poison trail no longer visually disappears when Singe leaves enemy vision. That's actually really good. Mega Adhesive now grounds units within the Mega Adhesive puddle. So I'm pretty sure grounding means like you can't flash out of it or do movement speed out of it, which is actually, it makes sense. You're stuck in glue. And the area duration is nerfed. It lasts for 3 seconds. It grounds, and the slow is nerfed. The slow no longer lingers. It costs less, and it has a shorter cooldown. It's actually really good. That means he could use it more often, so that's a straight buff, because in a team fight, he'll have it up more often to ground enemy champs, so you could, like, get pick potential with Singed. And with your new passive, you could just rush in there like an animal with Ghost, like, what is it called? Righteous Glory, and your ult and your passiveness. That's crazy. And Insanity Potion just got a straight buff to the men and base stats. That's good. Bonus stats. By, like, 5. 10 mid and 5 late. Okay. Taric. Everyone's favorite gay gem boy. Mana regen increased at earlier levels. Q heals more. Charge model updated. E cooldowns higher. Lower later. E deals more damage and stuns for the same duration at all ranks. I actually want to see that. So, mana regen is up. I didn't really think Taric ran out of mana a lot, but I guess if he spams, sure. Wait, he didn't have a mana regen growth? Wow, that's horrible, actually. Okay, healing per charge was changed to 30 plus 0.2 plus 1% Taric's maximum. So it's better late, I guess. You're incentivized to build tanky. Max charge 3 at all ranks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, that's actually really good. So it heals a lot more in late game. It's not really good early game, though, but realistically it never was. It was actually pretty ass. Alright, cool. Cost is a little bit more up, but down later. Again, they're nerfing the early, buffing the late. Cooldown is 3 seconds. Wait, what? Recharge rate, 15 seconds. Wait, so... what? Why is there a cooldown of 3 seconds? Oh, I get it. Okay. Because you would get the charge and then just do it again. But they're basically incentivizing you to charge it up. Bravado empowered attacks reduce dodge touch cooldown by 1 second and instantly grant a charge. Oh, so that's why they put the cooldown. Okay. And E dazzle damage up. They want him to hurt a little bit more. Poke you with his like big mace. Cooldown was nerfed early, buffed late, and stun duration is buffed early, nerfed late. Okay. Taric, good for him. More healing. Yorick, oh boy. Now, the main problem with Yorick from what I've played, and I've played a lot of him actually, not recently. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back again. So, I don't know what happened. I heard a huge-ass boom. It's like the Riot Gods like heard me talking shit about their patch, and they smote me with like no electricity. But me being the courageous fellow that I am, I'm going to defy Riot themselves and go on with the patch notes. Now, we were up to Yorick Mori. Now, recently, I have not played him, like I said before. Before I got cut off by Riot. Before Riot tried to censor me, just like they're trying to repeal the fucking free internet, whatever. But I've played him a lot. And I understand Yorick's problems. Yorick's problem is that he's not good late, which they kind of fixed. And he wasn't good late because he would be too reliant on his ult and having to set up like before a team fight in a specified area, where then he couldn't split push, because if he split pushed, he got raped, because he wasn't that good late. Now, let's see what they did. But they fixed that because the mains could push on their own now, the Mistwalkers. They don't need to be near him. Anyway, Yorick does quite well early game, but the Shepherd of Souls falls off pretty hard as the game goes on, which is exactly like I said. We want to support his mid to late game split pushing fantasy, so we're giving the Maiden more late game durability and lower cooldown. Passive. Mistwalkers now attack immediately upon landing from the E jump. That's good. It's a little quality of life buff, it seems like. They do less damage early, but more damage late. They have the same ratio. They have a lot more range to the E. Wow, that's almost like the half added on to it. And the Grave despawn range is a lot higher. So again, this actually does help out his late, because if he doesn't want to split push, he has a larger range to set up the little Mistwalkers to spawn in. So that's actually pretty good. So cooldown of the ult is lowered. That's really good. And the base health is upped. Again, just buffing his late game, trying to give him a little bit of help. Not too much, because they gave him help some last patch, but apparently it wasn't enough, so they gave him a little bit more. I actually don't know if it was a last patch, but mid-patch 7.13 balance update. Ever since my internet knocked out, it took me a while to restart my PC and get my internet back up, and I was laying on my couch thinking of how I could be sleeping, because I'm actually still really tired since I'm still adjusting my sleep schedule again. Anyway, so Nunu base health regen nerfed, armor nerfed, the sack is nerfed. Okay, that's all I need to know. Thornmail, this got updated. Now provides health, which is really good actually, and now applies grievous wounds. That's good. So what does it do? Health 250, armor less, but it gives health and thorns. Upon being hit by a basic attack, it reflects magic damage equal to 25 plus 10% of your bonus armor. So now it actually doesn't even matter who's attacking you. So it could be tanks, it could be literally anyone. They're all going to take the same amount of damage back. And it's going to cripple their attack speed, and it's going to apply grievous wounds. That's actually really good. It kind of helps the... And I don't like this, because as an AD player, this is actually really bad, because the main way to counter Thornmail is to get a shit ton of lifesteal, because that means, oh, you're doing damage, and it's after, it's before mitigation from armor. So you're taking damage back to however much you're doing, but if you're lifestealing for more, it cancels it out, it helps. And now that you have grievous wounds, you're not going to heal as much from the lifesteal, so it's actually a big ass buff to Thornmail, and it gives health too. So Bramble Vest, reflects 20 magic damage reflecting grievous wounds. So actually, Bramble Vest in and of itself, the new item, is pretty good. It's a new thing to build in Thornmail, which just gives the passive sooner, but albeit not as good, but still pretty good. Ancient Coin Line. Favor is upgrade tempers, favor, and you get an elixir. Nearby allies gain 8% move speed while moving towards you. That's actually really good, because the skill point didn't fucking matter, honestly, so that's a good change. Randuin's Omen. I kind of want to hurry this patch up before my internet blows up again from riots anger. Build path updated, grants more health, straight buff, recommended item pass. That's actually really good. Mainly supports. Alright, lethality, general notes. I actually want to read this, because I remember at the beginning I said I have a big issue with lethality. And let's go. Here, let's read it. We originally introduced lethality to give us a finer control over flat armor pen impact at various points in the game, and to separate assassin items from those of other physical damage dealers. 80. As they exist today, lethality items are generally on the weak side and aren't offering assassins real choice in their builds. Yes. Just rush Ghostblade every game. Looking at the options, Yomu's Ghostblade roaming power and Dustblade of Drachar damage proc vision denial should be competing for an assassin's first buy as the pure offensive Dirk upgrades. In practice, Duskblade is behind the curve on pretty much every front. We're leveling the playing field between the two blades. As a result of this work, Ghostblade is reclaiming its monopoly on movement speed among armor pen items, but with mobility removed, the Dirk items need a different way to help assassins carry advantages. Forward changing lethality from enemy scaling to self-scaling fills this gap. by pushing it further away from bot laners. Fuck you, Riot. Who tend to be lower level. Wow. Final note. Dirk upgrades generally have lost attack damage and gained lethality. The idea here is similar to our durability work in mid-season. Siphon strength have generalistic stats and into specialized stats, lethality. Lethality grants armor pen based on your level. Item tooltip now displays the current amount of armor pen lethality is granted you. That's actually really fucking good. Holy shit. Stats. Complete lethality items grant more lethality and, except for Edge of Night, less attack damage. Mobility, except for Yomu's Ghostblade, lethality items no longer grant out of combat move speed. Okay. So, here's the issue I have with lethality. It is so convoluted and confusing what the fuck it did and is still doing. I'm still confused by it to this day because the execution and explanation of it was so complicated. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm just stupid. Like, I don't understand. Flat armor pen makes sense to me. It lowers the target's armor by this amount, right? Lethality lowers it by like half the amount, but then it scales. And why wouldn't you just... I don't even know, man. I guess assassins just want to cleave through tanks for some reason, or one-shot carries, but I don't know. I'm so confused by lethality in general. Like, I don't know. I'm not getting these fucking items. Fuck this. I just read the update to this, so after killing an enemy, your next energy spell will deal 40 damage. It hits, 30-second cooldown. They added it back. This was on something before. Poacher's Dirk. Okay, they added that too. Duskblade, no out-of-combat move speed. Now grants 10% cooldown. That's actually alright. And they upped the proc of damage. Night Stalker now slows, and within 5 seconds of being seen. That's pretty good. So just straight buff. Yomu's cost unchanged. Out of combat move speed way up there. Lethality a little bit more, and AD is a little bit down. Okay. I don't really want to go over the lethality items too much because, again, I don't understand them. I'm stupid. Krugs. Medium-sized Krugs can now be smited. Thank the Lord. Because I would kill the fucking one big one, and then I would not gain health by, like, panic smiting the rest, and then I would die to them, unfortunately. But that's okay. So, vision abilities. Trundle's E no longer gives vision. Ivern's W, the cast range was decreased. And Anivia's W no longer gives vision. Okay. Attack and ability queuing. Many abilities are meant to get champions within striking range of their foes. We often add an attack command at the end of the ability, so they aren't standing awkwardly. Based on how MP queuing works in League, however, this attack command overwrites any attempt to queue a second ability. We're modifying a bunch of abilities so the hidden attack command no longer overwrites spell queuing, but will still work if a second ability isn't cast. Okay. If Pantheon tried to E Heartseeker Strike during W Aegis of Zeonia's dash, he'd begin basic attacking the target. Okay. This change only affects the following abilities. There you go. Ranked Flex. It sucks to be working your way up the ranked Flex ladder with group friends that slightly have your group become invalidated because someone happened to advance into the next tier. So we're relaxing the high MMR restriction originally placed on Flex parties. Identical for all tiers. All ranked Flex parties can now include players within one tier, including Diamond Master and Challenger. Oh, wow, okay. Rotating game mode, the stupid Dark Star game mode. SKT skins have had new audio, cool. And bug fixes. I think that's the whole patch. And now we have chromas, cool. So, that's basically it. New champ, a bunch of item changes, some new items, some champ changes. Singed got insane passive move speed, and Caitlyn got nerfed. And Diana got buffed, so did Garen. Okay, overall, I'd say this is a pretty good patch. Not really anything that pisses me off. Caitlyn is actually good that she got nerfed because it makes sense. Even I, as an AD player, will identify that. Caitlyn's an issue. Everything else is pretty good. I really don't want to see lethality items back in the meta because they're fucking annoying. They're either the best items or the worst. There's like no in between. So, yeah. Overall, I would rate this patch... You know, honestly, it didn't wow me. It's a good patch, but it's not great. So, but it's not bad either. So I'm going to rate it 6 out of 10 Mark Merrills. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. And I guess I'll see you for the next patch notes if I don't die by then. Thank you, and bye bye.